for 30 minutes, and we've allowed time for questions at the end. So if you have anything that you'd like to ask, please put them in the chat and we'll do our best to pick those up at the end of the presentation. But there's also the opportunity to just ask the questions at the end as well. And to let you know that we will be posting the presentation on Cascade afterwards. And finally, we will be sharing a really short feedback form for you to complete. And if you get the time, it'll only take a couple of minutes, and we would really appreciate if you were able to do that for us. So if we can move on to the next slide, please, Lee. Hi everyone, my name is Leanne Taylor and I'm the Director for Integration, Housing and Strategy, and I'll be presenting today with Lee. So Lee, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, I'm Lee Marriott. I'm Project Development Manager. I work with Leanne and I'll be following the presentation. I'll be doing a bit of a live demo on the sort of how the software works, how to install, and how the toolbar works as well.
Lovely, thank you, Lee, and welcome everyone to the briefing, for the launch of the Read and Write software. So if we move the slide on, so just to kick off, I'll tell you what we're going to be covering, what I'll be sharing with you today. Firstly, the key messages that you need to know about the software, and then I'll be going through the main features of the resources. And then we'll be showing you a video that explains how to install the software, followed by Lee giving a live demo of some of the functionality, and he'll then show you where the information is held. And then finally, some next steps for you to take away and the opportunity to ask any questions at the end. So starting with the key messages, to provide a summary really of what we're going to be covering. So this week, we've rolled out a new accessibility tool, which is called Read and Write. It's gone live onto people's computers from this week. So this resource is available to all staff with a Humankind computer. So it is not currently available to external devices if a partner provides your IT equipment. Read and Write is accessibility software that can support with dyslexia, visual impairments, and people where English is not the first language, but it also has many more additional benefits, such as turning text to speech and making voice notes that can help with productivity, amongst many other things that we're also going to run through and tell you a bit more about today. So to tell you about the software in a little bit more detail, if we can have the next slide, the Read and Write resources are all accessed via a toolbar. We're going to show you how to install the toolbar shortly. But once you've done this, the toolbar that's displayed on the screen here will be available for you to use across all of your documents. And all of the functions for the software are accessed through this toolbar. As you can see on the screen, the toolbar is broken down into, sorry, can we just pop back? The toolbar is broken into 3 key areas. So text-to-speech, neurodiversity, and productivity tools. So starting with the text-to-speech tools, which is on the next slide. Text-to-speech is probably one of the key functions of the software, and it allows you to hear on-screen text read out loud. So Lee will be giving a demo of this shortly to show you what it looks like in real time. But some of the key benefits of the text-to-speech function include hearing the text read out loud. It helps you with processing of information. So helps to reinforce understanding, increases focus, and improves the retention of information. It also makes proofreading easier, as it amplifies where there might be literacy errors, such as a missing comma, or where a sentence might be too long and needs breaking down, for example. And finally, it's great if you have a large document to review, as it gives you tired eyes a rest, and it allows you to listen rather than look at the screen. So moving on to the middle section of the toolbar, which is neurodiversity. So this provides a range of neurodiversity tools. I'm going to give you a brief run through of all of the functions as a really high level overview, but I realise that this is a lot of information to take in. So we will be giving some live demonstrations of a couple of the features today, but we'll also be showing you where you can access more detail on all of the functions afterwards. So don't worry too much about trying to remember everything. It's just to give you a little flavour of things. So starting with Check It, this is an advanced dyslexia-friendly spell checker, and it offers word suggestions and dictionary definitions. The similar word checker identifies words that are commonly confused, such as there, they are, and there, or you're and you are, which is really helpful. And dictation converts spoken words into text. So it works really well for people with dyslexia, but it's also a great time saver if you're in a rush or you're not a quick typer or just don't enjoy typing or just want to change. And prediction, it intuitively predicts the words as it's being typed and the word most likely to follow. So it can really help you save time when you're typing up documents. And then there's dictionary, which is as it says on the tin. And then screenshot reader. This allows you to turn images and text from either web pages, presentations or PDFs into editable and accessible formats. So this then allows you to use read aloud and also utilize the information without having to recreate that document. And finally, screen masking. This adds a tint to your screen so you can choose the colour and it helps reduce the glare, and it's useful for people with colour or light sensitivity. And this is one that Lee's going to be showing you as part of his live demo. And then moving on to the productivity part of the toolbar. Here are a number of tools that can help you save time and work more efficiently. So starting with the PDF reader. This reads out PDF documents and it allows you to highlight words and look up dictionary definition, which increases the accessibility of PDF documents. The highlight tool helps you summarize key points from lengthy documents by collating all highlights from multiple sources, and it can pull it together into one document for you. Audio Maker offers an alternative way to consume written text by converting text into MP3 audio files. And Scan allows you to edit previously inaccessible documents such as PDFs, and it allows you to convert them into either audio or Word. And then Translator allows you to translate text into multiple languages, and Lee will be giving the demo of this next also. And Voice Note offers an alternative to writing, so it allows you to record audio notes instead of actually typing something down. And then finally, the vocabulary list creates a personalized dictionary of words, which can help improve your vocabulary. So as I mentioned, that was a very high level and quick overview and a lot of information to take in, and we don't expect you to remember all of that. So I'm now going to pass on to Lee, who's going to take you through how to install the software first of all, and then he's going to give some real demonstrations of how to use some of the key features, and then he'll also show you where you can find out more about the features in your own time. So I'll hand over to Lee, who needs to just switch over his screen, I think, so I'll give him a second. Over to you, Lee.
All good. Cheers, Leanne. Yeah, so at the moment, I've already got the software installed on my machine, so I can't really give you a running demo of how that would look. So we've had IT have brilliantly put together this quick video. So although I'm going to play it, you'll probably forget exactly what it's gone through, but it's just to give you an idea, and I'll show you where it's available to access afterwards as well. Along with some walkthrough videos and loads of resources. So I'll set this play and let you have a watch.
Read and Write is a tool that offers support for everyday tasks such as text-to-speak and dictionaries. This short video will show you how to set up the tool for the first time. The first thing that you need to do is go to the search bar at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Start typing in Read and Write, and then you'll see a list of applications to select. Click on Read and Write at the top. Once you've done that, you'll see a small tab appear at the top of your screen. Go to the tab and click on the RW purple icon. Once you've clicked on the icon, it will prompt you to log on. Select the option Sign in with Microsoft and click on that. On the next screen, it should prompt you to log on with your Humankind email address. Select that to continue. There's no need to enter your password due to single sign-on being activated. Once you've logged on, that's it installed and you can now close the window. At the top of the screen, you'll see a new toolbar for the Read-Write application.
So there we go. It's pretty straightforward once you're into it, but like I said, that video is available as well afterwards, and I'll show you a bit later on exactly where everything's held, so you can get full access to everything, and there's a clear walkthrough of how to do everything. So yeah, I'll show you. I'll now sort of show you from the software being installed. So where Emma had it, I think it was along the top of the toolbar, and mine was originally, but because I'm using Zoom, my settings are at the top, so I've had to switch it over. So it's fairly easy to shift around. It starts off minimized or maximized, and you can shift it if it's blocking any of your sort of toolbar, or if you need to close anything down, you can move it around. But if you want to maximize it, it's got a little arrow next to it there, and that brings up the full toolbar, and then the arrow is just at the end there if you need to minimize it while you're doing other things. So I'm going to just run a little demo around 4 of the functions, very basics what they do, and a bit of the benefits as well. So if you're wanting to shift the toolbar itself, there's a little 4-way arrow here. If you hold down on that, you can move it around the screen. I'm not going to do it because when we've tested it during Zoom meetings only, I've lost the toolbar a couple of times, and I think it's just with it interacting with Zoom. But I'll probably need to talk to IT about that one. So yeah, you can shift it around in any space, and as you move it, it'll provide a silhouette. So if you put it to the top, it'll show you exactly where it's going to go. And then, like I said, when you finish with it, you can close it down. So just for general settings, there's 3 little dots at the end here. If you click on that, it opens up a new menu. And if you click on the settings, just for general, the toolbar itself, you can switch the theme. There's only 2 to choose from, but if it works better for you the other way around, you can just switch it backwards and forwards. And the main feature really for the toolbar is, as you get to use it more and you get used to it and you figure out what works best for you, what you don't need, what you are using most, you can sort of get rid of things off the toolbar to clean it up a little bit. So I've took off the prediction because it's a bit like mobile phone text where it predicts the next word for you. And I haven't used it yet, but it might be something that I come back to. So if I want that, I'll just click on it and it drops back down into my toolbar. If I want rid of it, give it a click again, and you can do that with anything. So as you go through, it's just literally click and you can make changes as you go on. So the first demo on one of the features is the text-to-speech demo. Again, like Leanne said, it's ideal for proofreading, to listen how your sentences and paragraphs are structured. You can go back through and it relieves your eyes as well, so you're not having to stare at the screen. You can actually just sit and listen to it. So I'll set this away just to give you an idea. So I'll just put the cursor at the start of where I'm wanting to read and hit play.
This is a demonstration of how read and write can turn text on the page to speech, and how to translate to a different language.
As it said at the end there, I am going to show you how to convert it to a different language as well. But just as Leanne said, so even just taking out a comma completely changes the way it reads it out. So it stops that gap.
This is a demonstration of how read and write can turn text on the page to speech, and how to translate to a different language.
So it does pick up on sort of the grammar and any commas, apostrophes, things like that you're dropping in as well. And then if I go into the settings again, I'll just show you some of the basics around, if I can find it, speech. And at the moment, I found it really beneficial just to slow the voice down. So it was set on 50 when I first used it. And I found it just a bit too fast and it didn't sound right. So I've just slowed it down. I think I've got it on 40 at the moment. But you can slide that to sort of anything you need it to be. You can put pauses in between words. You can change the voice pitch, and then you can test the voice.
This is your new voice. Is it okay?
Sorry, I hit that a bit early, but yeah, you can test as you go. So that provides a lot sort of extra configuration, so you can change things around to suit what best works for you. If there's any words that it's struggling to speak, you can actually add words in and then pronounce them properly, so you can spell it. And it's just loads of settings there. But I've only tested it for about 2 weeks properly, and there's so many settings that you can tweak and sort of mess around with it until it works exactly how you need it to. So then the next one is translation. As it says at the end, It offers a written and verbal translation through Google Translate. And from my last count, it's around 60 languages that are available. But again, I'll show you that in the settings. So if I highlight the text, and again, if you're not sure what any of the buttons are, if you just hover over them, it gives you a little message underneath. So that's the translator one. It's not obvious, or it wasn't obvious to me the first time, but if I hit that, it'll open into Google Translate. I'll show you that now. And I think I've currently got it set up on French, but like I said, you can change the language and I'll show you how to do that. So it comes up in written format, and also if you hit the play button.
Il s'agit d'une démonstration de la façon dont la lecture et l'écriture peuvent transformer le texte de la page en paroles et comment traduire dans une autre langue.
And back to it. So I'll show you some of the settings for translator, and this is as basic as it needs to be. Like I said, I've got it set to French, but the languages are there, and it is literally as easy as just click on the one you're after. You can even change translate from to English if it's already written in a different language. And then the one that I'm really hoping works is the next one, which is dictation. So again, if I show you the button at the bottom for dictation, it does have a headset on there, and it's more accurate. We've had sort of feedback from staff using it and that have had a test and a pilot session with it. So it is a lot more accurate with the headset itself, especially this style. So the sort of the call center look. So you've got the microphone right in front of your face, and it is a lot more accurate with a headset and a mic that's closer to you. I'll give a demonstration, but please pray for me. Here we go. Please do all of my typing for me from now on. Finally, it works. Yeah. That's. I mean, what I would say is it will drop in full stops for you, but you have to say it. And as you go, it's probably best for if you're doing a draft document. You can speak it out, and then it's going back and sort of tweaking it and make sure it all works. But again, you can use the text to speech off the back of it to run a sort of test of that as you go through. So, I mean, it helps to reduce screen time and typing as well. So I'll just show you some of the settings around that. Oh, it's just the one. So basically, if you're going to work offline, you switch that over. So if you've got no internet and you want to work offline, you switch that over, and it allows you to continue to work. And let's see what's next. So next, I've got screen masking. So basically, it helps reduce screen glare. It benefits anyone with color or light sensitivity as well. So I'll just show you what I've got set up at the moment for screen masking. So at the moment, I've got sort of a light blue tint, and it allows you to switch it on and off straight away from just the toolbar that pops up, and you can move this around as well. But from the settings, again, you can change it so that the word as you type in underlines in that color. You can tint the line you're actually typing. If I drop down, tint the whole screen, which is what I've got it set up to, and you can change the I think it's opacity of it, so like the sort of thickness of how clear it is. So again, there's loads of settings there, and I'll just switch that off. And then the best sort of way to get used to it, this is what the way I've sort of got used to everything is by using video walkthroughs, and that's available through the settings as well. So if you click on that, hit video walkthroughs, there's a walkthrough video for every single setting, every single function on there. And that's how it sort of worked out what works best for me, how to use it all. And the videos average around 3 to 5 minutes maximum. So it's the easiest and best way to sort of figure it out. But again, go into the settings, tweak it to your sort of use as well, to whatever works. And then the last thing I'm going to show is just where we're holding information at. So if we go to the Cascade homepage, so this is what will boot up as you get into Cascade. This is the first page, and under Happy Healthy You, give that a click. And again, it's just in the homepage of Happy Healthy You. Scroll down. There are some topics on the left. And it's the only one that mentions computer ease of access or computer use. So if we click on that, and then on your right, so you've got ease of access, changing your settings, but then straight away underneath, read and write guidance, and then it's got its own page there, which again, it goes through what it is, why we've got it, and what the basics of the features do. There's a quick reference guide on there in PDF, which Leanne's basically gone through, but just in your own time if you want to go through and check what all the features are and the benefits. There's a frequently asked questions section as well, just pointing in the right direction. Bit of the basics, it'll point you to the videos and things like that as well. And then at the bottom there, we've got the install video again. So if you're wanting to go back through that in your own time, to install and run that system, then it's available there. And I think I am done, Leanne.
You certainly are. Thank you, Lee. If you wouldn't mind popping my presentation back up. Thank you for that. Seamless. It can always go wrong with a live demo, but that was great. Thank you, Lee. So the binmen are outside. I'm hoping my dog's not going to bark, but we'll just have to work through it. So just to wrap up then, if you can pop on to the next slide, hopefully this has provided you with a good overview of the resources that are available to you and your teams. And just to finish off by summarising the next steps, can you pop on to the next slide, please, Lee? So I'd like you to go away and install the software and then spend some time getting your head around it. So like Lee mentioned, we suggest that you play around with it and explore how it works, and also watch the walkthrough videos that are available. I noticed a couple of people had said in the chat there was some issues with, they were having some error messages. We will pick that up afterwards and make sure that there's some updated communication to those that have had issues. I'd also suggest you refer to the Cascade page that Lee's just talked about for more information. And then we'd like you to spread the word and discuss it with your teams or in team meetings. So all staff have been invited to attend the 2 briefings that we're holding, but we realise that not everyone can attend. So please pass on the message if you can, as there are benefits to everyone from using the software. And finally, we'd love for you to feedback and communicate with us. So this is a new tool that does absolutely loads, and we're also just getting our heads around it. So let us know if there's anything we can do to improve the experience for you. And that concludes my presentation. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's taken the time to attend. We will be popping a quick feedback form in the chat. So I can ask you to take a minute to complete it. And I say we've allowed time for questions. We've slightly gone longer than that, but I know there's been some questions as we've gone, but we do have a few minutes if anybody has any urgent questions, and we will be picking them up in the frequently asked questions as well. So if we can take down the presentation, Lee, so we can see if anybody does have any burning questions. We'll across multiple I'll try that again. You're across multiple screens. So if you do have a question, if you can either pop it in the chat or come off mute and just or pop your hand up, just so it's difficult to see everyone.
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, I think it's a fantastic bit of software for clients and staff, and thank you for the presentation today. I think it would be good kind of in a phase 2 to explore if we can install it where we don't provide the IT kit. I think that's something that would be really good to look at in terms of a phase 2. But no, it looks really good. I just wanted to thank you and Lee for today.
Thanks, Ted. And Lee, I don't know if you've got anything to add about the third-party devices. I know you've worked with IT on this.
Yeah, we're working with IT to get it on the EDP. It is EDP, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Devices, yeah. That it's just going to take a little bit more time to do that part of it. The third party in regards to NHS, if staff are working through the NHS or any other provider where it's their equipment, their computers, we can't physically get that installed. What we'd have to do is go to their IT provider. So if anybody does need accessibility software, we'd have to go through that third party to their IT provider and see what they can offer.
Thanks, Lee. Any other, I'm just looking in the chat. I've tried to pick up questions as we've gone along. Someone's asked if we can use read and write on Paris. I'm not familiar with what Paris is, so Nadia, I don't know if you can confirm that we may be able to provide more. Is that your management information system or?
Yeah, I'm a substance misuse peer support worker for Humankind, but I work with CHU from the NHS. So we do activity notes on Paris, but I think it's changing to, is it Cisco or something else soon. But we have to like put activity notes on. And I've got dyslexia, but obviously I've asked for a program and they said I couldn't get funding for it.
What I would say is I've used it. I didn't think it would work on Teams, but it does. So when I've dictated onto Teams, I've been able to send messages and things like that. So give it a try. Obviously, I don't have access to that software, or whatever you're using, but give it a try. And then if you're not getting any joy, come back to us.
Right, okay, brilliant.
I think just as a minimum, what you can do is record. You can record a voice note, which will turn it into text, and then you can cut and paste that into a system. So the only query is whether or not your device is managed by a third party, which is what we're still working on. But I've made a note of your name, Nadia, just to pick up with you about making sure that you do have appropriate software afterwards.
Yeah, my laptop's Humankind at the moment, but I think I'm
Okay.
getting a ThinkPad, but that's
Okay.
obviously that's allocated by Tube. So, and
Okay.
I usually have to use the desktop at work, which are NHS. So
I've made a note of your name. We'll reach out afterwards just to make sure that you
brilliant.
have
Thank
access to what you need to. Thank you. Any other burning questions that I may have missed within the chat? I'm conscious that we're sort of approaching the 1 o'clock. What we will do is we'll review the chat just in case we have missed anything, and we'll update responses to those within the frequently asked questions and post those afterwards. So I'd like to just thank everyone for coming, and we'll let everybody get on with their day and get their lunch. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.